Welcome, everybody, to Life in the Fast Lane. I am Andy Lang from WagerTalk.com. We are going to go over this week's race at Phoenix. Quick little recap from last week. And, of course, we're going to do the Stenhouse Award. We had plenty of nominees for this week. And then we're going to give out a best bet at the end. I am off to a really good start, 3-1. The last two races, and that is something I'm really proud of with all of these new cars. So we've hit both of our plays of the week as well. So our first two big plays in NASCAR have hit. So feeling good, giving me a lot of confidence going in. And the NASCAR pack for this week at Phoenix is up at WagerTalk.com. Really happy to see the books have come out with lines before we're recording this, so I got a lot to work with. So very excited about that. Let's do a quick recap. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but Alex Bowman comes through at the end, gets a very fortunate situation at the end to win the stage one and the race. And he kind of backed into the win a little bit, but make no mistake, he drove a great race. He put himself in position to win. This wasn't a fluke, something crazy out of nowhere. He was running up front, and those Hendrick cars look good, so congratulations to him. Ross Chastain had a great race. He wins stage 2 and looked fantastic, and I loved what him and Daniel Suarez, his teammate, said, we're not underdogs. We're here to win. So they looked great. That was my loss last week. I had Almirola versus Chastain. Listen, Almirola finished 6th. I was ecstatic, but Chastain, tip your cap to him. He drove a great race, cost me a win, but those cars are showing some real promise. Cars are still spinning by themselves. We saw several accidents where guys are just the wheels come out from underneath them, and there's a lot of spins. I don't know how long this is going to take, but obviously this is a big concern for teams. And shout out to Kyle Busch. He wrecks in practice. They basically build a car from scratch. His car was so damaged. And unfortunately, this was I know a lot of people bet against Kyle Busch, which for good reason. And he ends up leading the race late. He ended up finishing up the top, shocked a lot of people, myself included. So that team did incredible work. It looks like the Gibbs cars are racing a little bit better than they were the previous week. So I would expect those guys to get better and better, but unbelievable job by Kyle Busch's crew. So let's get into the Stenhouse Award. For those new to the show, this is kind of the unforced error award in honor of Ricky Stenhouse, who has made more than his fair share over the years, or it's just the goofiest thing that happened in the NASCAR race. Okay, nominee number 1 is the complete lack of chemistry in the announcer booth between Danica Patrick and Clint Boyer. I don't know what they're trying to do. They're rotating these former drivers in and out of the booth, and it's not going well. Matt Kenseth was in there, and they put Danica in there, and this is just not a skill set that she has. She was doing half comments here or there. They had no chemistry. I don't think people understand how hard doing live sports commentary is, and this is just not for her. I hope they don't put her back in there because it was just a bad look. In fact, on lap 145 out of 267, so lap 145 out of 267, she made the comment about they're almost to the halfway point, which you pull out the calculator, they're way past the halfway point. It was just bad. Nominee number 2, Brad Keselowski spins and takes out Ryan Blaney. And then Ryan Blaney, after he gets spun and taken out, he's pissed off in the interview and he's complaining that he's out of the race. But Brad, the one who spun, is still out there racing. It was hilarious watching his interview. Denny Hamlin, got 2 nominees for him. Pit crew drops the car off the jack right onto the air hose, puts him down for a while. And then this is probably the winner. We are going to use this as the winner. He downshifts coming out of the pits. He spins, blows his transmission. Oh my gosh, what a tough blow for Denny Hamlin. A downshift, and all of a sudden you're out of the race. A couple nominees: Eric Jones wrecking with 3 laps to go, and then Bubba Wallace comes into him. And then Christopher Bell looked like he's driving a lowrider. He spins his car, and it looks like he's driving on a hydraulics. Car is just bouncing up and down on his flat tires. But Denny Hamlin taking himself out of the race, downshifting, coming out of the pits, has got to be the winner. So, okay, let's look to this week's race, Phoenix. This is a one-of-a-kind track. There are not many tracks around here to compare it to on the NASCAR circuit. I guess you could look at maybe like a Darlington or Richmond. I don't know. You try and look for some of the shorter tracks, but they really don't compare. It's 1 mile. It's low bank. And then to add to it, we've got brand new cars. So I'm not totally looking at track history for drivers here. I'm really looking at how they've done the last couple of weeks. But then another thing to throw into this is, don't forget, they've used Phoenix they used it for the championship. So the results are not going to really be an indication of a regular season type of race, because they used it for the finale when, everyone kind of moves out of the way and lets the top 4 guys get to the front. So if you're handicapping this race on your own, I would be very careful to look at who has done good here in the past. I'm not really sure it matters. I mean, take a look at guys like Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez. They're in brand new cars, brand new team, and they look great. I don't think how they finished at the last Phoenix race is going to be an indication of how they're going to do here. Kevin Harvick loves this track, has dominated. Not really sure if his performances in the years past are going to tell you how he's going to do this week. Yeah, he likes the track, but how is this new car going to be set up? So this is going to be a tricky one, and we're going to see this throughout the year. My opinion, it gives me an advantage as a handicapper because I like looking at recent form more than I do track history. So this fits well for me. We will have practice and qualifying. So if you want to wait until Sunday to put your bets in, that's absolutely fine. I will have a couple of bets up before qualifying and practice, and then Sunday, the final card will be out there. You can find that on WagerTalk.com. Let's take a quick look at the new cars update. Teams struggling, teams not struggling. Chevys are looking great. We're going to get to the Chevys here in just a second. Hendricks is looking consistent. I did think that the Gibbs cars looked much better. They looked much more in control. I don't know what it says about him that Kyle Busch's rebuilt car was probably doing better than his previous car, but for whatever, it was only a matter of time before Gibbs was really, really going to figure out and get these cars dialed in. And I think we saw a lot more promise from them. So Kyle Busch finishing 4th. But yeah, I mean, look at these Hendrick cars last week. So you got Bowman in 1st, you got Larson in 2nd, Byron in 5th, Chase Elliott in 9th. And that was actually a prop on DraftKings. I believe it was like 9-1. Well, all Hendricks cars finished in the top 10. Yikes. Did not expect them to cash that one. Hendricks has got to be the best ones right now. And I'm not going to bet against Trackhouse Racing anymore. They look great. I'm not betting against Ross Chastain. He ran consistently and at times dominant up near the front. I would also caution people about fading Bubba Wallace. I know he got into the incident, but he was on pace to win some of his head-to-head matchups. And then Brad Keselowski's team does not seem like they have anything dialed in. He is struggling to keep the car on the track without spinning. So I'm going to be looking at fading Brad Keselowski on a track like Phoenix. So let's get to our best bet. I mentioned the Chevys earlier, and I am going to take at plus money. Chevy is going to win this race. So if we just look at the last 2 tracks that are the non-restrictor plate types of races. So Chevrolet at Las Vegas finished 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And at Auto Club, Chevy's finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So the last 2 weeks on these non-restrictor plate type tracks, Chevy is finished all in the top 4 and all in the top 3. And that's mostly due to what Hendricks is doing. So at plus money, I'm going to look at the manufacturer. Chevy is going to win the race at Phoenix. That's my best bet. Go ahead and grab the NASCAR pack that is up at WagerTalk.com, or just lock in the rest of the season. Ton of races. We're off to a 3-1. Really, really good start. Hit both of our plays of the week. I'm Andy Lang, WagerTalk.com. A very, very special shout out to Rocky Atkinson. Thoughts and prayers and sending good vibes to Rocky and what him and his family are going through this week. But I really want to mention Rocky, a good friend of mine, and also shout out to Steve Merrill. Go check them out. Rocky is on sportsmemo.com. Steve Merrill in college basketball is up on wagertalk.com. That's two of the guys from Life in the Fast Lane family. So that should be it. It's going to be a great race at Phoenix. I expect some winning bets. We should have another profitable week, and I'll see you next week on Life in the Fast Lane.